Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. Nani? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is... Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery, leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it's unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean... I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible for all these years? Well, there is one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. Well, Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. it's You notice he never uses his right arm. I refuse. You refuse? But refusing this means you acknowledge the bullet is still inside you. Order! Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. The statute of limitations ran out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough! I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. This is so stupid. It reacted. Something is inside his right shoulder. The bullet... ... Mr. Von Karma. ... You! It was you! ... I was afraid this would happen. And so I remained silent. Question mark? Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. Nani? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claimed that the bullet in my shoulder had no relation to DL6. We're gonna take it out and we're gonna examine the ballistic markings. But Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is Mr. Wright who must prove something here. Not I. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6? Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. That's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. But I do. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. Nani? You were close, 1 day away from freedom. But you see, I have proof. Nani? Who would have thought you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. Wait, what? And here's my final proof! It's the bullet, right? I think it's this. I think it's this. Alright, let's go. That's a bullet? Where did you get that? From you, dumbass. This is the bullet used in the DR6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings? You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. I know what ballistic markings are. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. one bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets. Then if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun! The very same pistol. In other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder right now in the courtroom. Then we will compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma. Rog. Wog. Wow. Waya. What does that mean? That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. Help! I can't breathe. Quiet! I said quiet, you are not making this any easier. Stop breathing my air, I'll stop you. Stop breathing my air! Get away! Get away from my father! Bang. Wow! That's exactly how that sounds. It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed. Mr. Von Karma. Rock Edgeworth! Only you would dare defy me. So it was you. You and your father are my curse. Oh look, his hair is also spiky, look at that. Go on, keep doing it, yeah. Just gonna pause it here. Let him bang his head a few more times. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, so good. So good. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you! I'll bury you with my bare hands! Death! 15 years earlier. Chief Prosecutor, I'm sorry. Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Exclamation! Edgeworth! It was a shock like none I had ever known. Me, penalized! It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black, the lights must have gone out. I went out into the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, but nothing happened. Then, there was a noise! I was in pain. A horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then the lights came back on, the elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then, it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died never knowing who had shot him. Later he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled! It was the perfect crime. Tisk. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge! Nani? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now, end it. Very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Not guilty! Confetti again, yay! Confetti! Stupid. So stupid. That is all. This court is adjourned. Wait, you're not gonna find Von Karma guilty? December 28, 5:38 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Nick, we did it! Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick. Crushed! I gotta say, I'm impressed. It was pretty close though. I was sure we had it. I know I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory. So it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right. Yeah. I'm not sure how to say this. I know. Try thank you. I see. Thank you, Wright. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Sorry, I'm not good at this sort of thing. You got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. She's got you there. Whoop! Amazing, pal. You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you the one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month. But who cares? See, Mr. Edgeworth, you should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. What, with a party? Maya just wants a party. I see. Ahem. Whoop. I feel foolish. You are foolish. Don't worry, take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey yo. She turned up for the party. Lotta! Y'all were great in there. Thank you. Yo Edgeworth, congrats. Thank you all very much. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at you, you wouldn't stick your hand in the cookie jar even if no one was there. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones. Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? Oh, I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick. Really? That's too bad. I mean, you got a real expensive camera. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Huh. It's over, Nick. My life is over. Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick, I'm not long for this world. You don't look sick. It's Kianse. She's gonna live in Paris. Paris, Nick. Yes. She's leaving me behind. Yes, she is. You should have seen that coming. Yo, Edgy, there you are. Yes, here I am. Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift from me in celebration. What is that? A celebration? That's unusual for you. Harry Butts, you come along tonight too, my treat, pal. Huh? Ah, thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right. Yeah, what's up? That envelope that Larry gave me, it's got money in it. Well, yeah, that's not that strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? $38. He gave back the money he stole. Harry Butts stole the money and he just gave it back to him. $38. That's his lunch money from when he was 9 years old. Oh my god, Harry Butts. Harry Butts stole your lunch money. Huh. What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. $38 exactly? Nick, wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? It's $38! No! No, Larry, it was you! What are you so surprised about, Wright? Huh. Larry was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. Nani? Think back to that day 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored, so he came into school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right, you may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. I know. Really, right. I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this show is an unexpected turn of events. Edgeworth! You should have told me! No, Nick, it was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. There you have it! Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did. Well, you have always been something of an insufferable emotionalist. Yeah, and you get worked up too easily too. Death! The death sentence for both of you! Man, if only I'd known I would have become a prosecutor. The same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time I thought that I might have killed my own father. I thought I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. You know, you could just like... went to a therapist. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth. Want to switch right? No. Hey yo, line up, I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time, let's go. And after that, dinner on me. Detective Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom. Oh, that's right. So in the original release of the game, this was the final episode. In subsequent releases, they added an extra episode to the end of it. So they added like, you know, DLC or something. So the reason there's this big long ending celebration is because this is the end of the game in the original design. Even though Edgeworth himself was still in detention. Wait, he's still in detention? December 29, 5:02 AM, Wright & Co. Law Offices. Whoa, I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. Ah, it's still only 5. Maybe I should go back to sleep. What's this? A letter? Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you, it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth too. I wanted to help you. But I couldn't. I was useless, no you weren't. So I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye! What time is it? Gah! The first trains for the mountains have already left. To the station! I guess I'm too late. Hey! Nick! Maya! So, you're leaving? Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? No, Mia told you to look after me. Wait! What? ... I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. Huh? On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister? Yes, only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, and Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick. But you were the one who stopped Von Karma, Maya. Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in a daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? Show Maya some evidence to cheer her up. She's the one who grabbed this from Von Karma. But can I show her something else? Can I show her a bird? I mean, the bird would make her happier, I think. Alright. A bullet! Von Karma was convinced he had taken all of the evidence pertaining to DL6. But you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma. And you were the one who gave it to me. Nick. Thanks, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you. I'll be back soon. Huh? I'm going to complete my training and come back. ... Okay, I'll be waiting. Of course you will. You can't run that office by yourself. You're hopeless. I don't know about that. So, this is it. See you soon, Maya. Okay. And so my story ends. Time to turn a new page. And say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins. With the same old crazy cast of characters. Really? Ha! Don't think you graduated. Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim. Yes, Your Honor. Alright, so this was the end of the first game. I don't know if they put the extra episode in this one. This is unskippable. I'm pressing buttons, this is not skippable. Alright, let's just watch this. Cheese shop. Cool. This game's alright. It's alright. You know what? It's not. I mean, there's the same adventure game problems of like because everything is reliant on like clues and items. And the story, like there's no rules about, like the thing about adventure games is that there aren't like game mechanics. Everything is just riddles, right? Everything is like you put this item together with the other item to progress. And then some of the items don't always make sense. So there's those problems. At least though, for this game, you don't really get stuck. Right, like you are in any particular puzzle situation, you are in one room, you have like one screen, maybe one screen plus two bits of evidence, and it's like you have to present one of these things to progress at this point. Like you don't walk back and forth so much, and you don't get stuck in a whole lot of dialogue. So in that sense, it does actually avoid... It does avoid a lot of the adventure game problems. Because you spend like you spend one segment, you spend an hour collecting evidence, okay, that's cool. And then you spend an hour using that evidence. And it's very like separated. Whereas in a normal adventure game, you are collecting evidence and using the evidence, or like collecting items and using the items in the same space at the same time. And so you like walk from screen to screen, and it's all these items, and you kind of like trying to rearrange them, and you end up a lot of times looking for things. Whereas in this game, once you've found everything, that segment ends, and then the next segment is using those things that you found. So in that sense, it's a lot cleaner than a lot of adventure games. But I've said my criticisms, right? That's some of the bits don't really make sense, and also the story itself is just not plausible. And not just not plausible, but it's so wrong that it's almost insulting. The story, like, it's so detached from any semblance of reality that it almost insults you for knowing better. If you understand how law works, you understand how courts work, you understand how policing works, or you understand how lawyers work, if you understand any of these things, this game just insults you. And yeah, that's the big one, I guess. That's the big one that I wish was better, and maybe it'll get better. This is the first game in the trilogy. I have 3 games here, and maybe the second and third game in the trilogy it gets better. I'm not sure that it does, but it might. Also, is this really the end of the first game? Yeah, no, there's episode 5. Yeah, a brand new episode has been added. So this episode 5 is like added to subsequent releases. In the original release, it was the 4 episodes. In subsequent releases, they added a 5th one. Let me save this, and I'll take a break. When we come back, we play episode 5.